We're going to talk about the workflow in Vizrt T and why you use Vizrt T. So Vizrt T is a real-time 3D design program which you can design graphics to play out on air, meaning that you're going to use them in a live broadcast and or a live streaming situation. Beyond that, Vizrt Artist, you can also render out your scenes into post graphics. So it's also a great artist tool to design and create graphics in. Essentially, there's two components of Vizrt T here, and you're looking at the first one here, which is the design interface. This is Vizrt Artist. So we're going to walk through a quick workflow of how you would use Vizrt Artist and then take those graphics on air. To start, we are in our user interface here, and first, what you have to know is that you can take any window here and just undock it and place it wherever you want. So if you're looking for a certain asset or need to find something, you can pull out your window at any time and just move it around if need be. For first, we're going to build a lower third here and demonstrate how that works within Vizrt T. So I'm going to go into my built-ins here, and I'm going to use just a pretty simple rectangle here. This is a 2D object. I'm going to click on my rectangle icon here, and notice we have a container which has this little rectangle icon. So I click on that. We come to our properties here in the right. I'm going to adjust my rectangle out with the width, and let's say we can enter 500 here, and we can adjust the height here as well. We'll adjust it out a little bit more so it reaches the edges, something close to that. We'll pull it down here to the bottom of the screen. If you want to turn your title safe areas on, you can by these two little buttons over here in the scene editor window. Next, we want to give this lower third a little bit of color, and two ways you can do that. One, we can drag a material on here and just give it a solid color like that, or we could use an image. So we could come into one of our image folders and choose some type of image to map to it as well. So here's another image. We'll just drag that on there. Maybe we'll get rid of that blue material and just use the coloring from this image. I'm going to click on my image icon to go into the image mapping editor, and I'm going to come down here to mapping, make sure it's on linear, and I just want to adjust the scaling a bit. So let's scale this in to somewhere right around there. Now, if you're not familiar with mapping in here, we can also change it to vertex, which will pin it to the corners and fill the object. So let's keep it on vertex for now. Next, we will need some text. So let's go grab some text here, and we'll just use one of these fonts, and I'm just going to slide this font up into the scene tree here. Let's say this is going to be our name. So we'll just come in here and type in name text within our text editor. We can reposition this over top of the lower third here. Now, if we want to turn on a shadow real quick, we can do that within our fonts. We're just going to make our text active and then choose a color for our font. Now, you notice we're not seeing that shadow right away. Because Vizrt T is a true 3D system, we need to pay attention to our Z space. Right now, both our text and our rectangle are on the 0 plane Z. So I need to either one, move my rectangle backwards in Z space, and or move my text forward in Z space. So now my text is at 0 and this rectangle is at -2. Once we did that, we can now see this shadow. So I'm going to jump back into the text here and just adjust this shadow real quick. We have a distance here which we can offset a little bit. One last thing that we're going to add to this lower third here is just a little font so that we can swap it out if need be. So here we can just use one of our social media icons or social media logos and just make this part of the graphic as well. So we're going to slide this over here on the right. Maybe we'll scale it down a little bit just to fit with inside the box. We'll readjust the positioning of it. Fairly simple like that. Now, what we want to do is actually animate this. Scene or lower third wouldn't be complete without an animation. So we're going to add some animation to this, and to do that I'm just going to group my three assets together here by using this little group tool and sliding that within inside our group. Now my three assets are a subcontainer of this group, and we're just going to use this group to animate. So I'm going to move this position all the way over here. We're going to hit set keyframe, and we're going to move our lower third back to its original position and hit set keyframe. When we did that, notice it created this little animation icon up here, and if I click on that animation icon, it takes us right into the stage, which shows us our 2 keyframes and animation. So if I come and play this, you can see our bar slides across, comes in, and it stays there. Now we want to give an operator the ability to change out this logo and text. So we can do that within Vizrt T with these plugins called Control Plugins. I'm going to come into my Control folder here, and first I want to add a text because we want to give them the ability to change the text. I'm going to go ahead and drop this Control Text function onto my text, and when we did that, it automatically added this other object function up on there automatically. So I'm going to come into my text and I'm going to tell it this is the first thing that I want it to change, and I'm going to give it the field identifier of 1. We also want to change out our logo here, so we'll need a function to swap that out as well. So I'm going to use this image control function, and I'm just going to drop that onto that container, give it the field ID 2, and come into my object here and just give this a name as well. Now I want to save the scene, so I'm just going to click save, and we can choose which folder we want. I'm just going to choose this project folder here, give it a name such as L3 post, and we'll hit save. Now what we want to do is take it into the external program and try it out. Now there are several programs you can use to play out Vizrt T. One of them is Vizrt Trio, and we're going to use Vizrt Trio to play out that scene that we just made. So here we are in Trio. First thing that we want to do is import the scene that we just made. So I'm going to come into our import scenes here. We're going to look for this thing called L3 post. We're going to import it or drag it over to our templates folder here. The workflow here is that we created a template within Vizrt T, which is this L3 post here. We gave it control for an operator or producer to be able to change it. And now we click on our template and can see it in the preview window here. And here are the options for us to change it. So we can come up here and give this a new name. And then we can come into our next option here to change out this logo. So we'll use the Twitter logo instead. And the theory being is that you save this. So we'll give it a new save name, 1000. And here is our new template to play out. Now, if you wanted to go up and change or make another graphic to play on air, we could give this one name 2. And again, we could change out the logo on that one as well. We would save it, give it another name, and now we have 2 graphics ready to hit air here. So we have our first graphic, new name 1, and then when they need that second graphic, we could highlight it and hit play and take that to air whenever they needed it.